Hello and welcome to Nurture Academy. Today we are going to learn about bending of a cyclist on a curved road. So just imagine that there is a cyclist who has to go, let's say, on this curved path. So we can see this is the cyclist. Whenever the cyclist turns to the curved path, he or she will have the tendency to bend. If he is taking this type of circular path, in which this is the diameter of the circle, he will be pulled in this direction. If he is taking this type of curve path, then this guy will bend in this direction. So we have to find by which angle the cyclist will bend while taking the curve. Okay. So this is the cyclist. First thing we have to do is we have to draw the components. Weight of the cyclist you draw parallel to the vertical axis. So weight of the cyclist will be downward. Now we have to bother about the reaction component. Reaction component always come out from the head. So reaction component is here. But I don't want reaction component in this way. You can see mg and reaction component are at some angle. So what I will do is I will resolve the reaction component into two further component, r cos theta and r sin theta. And obviously if the circular path is like this, the centripetal force always act towards the center. So the value of centripetal force is mv square upon r, and the cyclist will be bent towards that. Now it's very simple. After we have understood the components of the force, we just have to write the equation. See here, r cos theta is balanced by weight mg. They are exactly opposite to each other. So we will say r cos theta is equal to mg. Similarly, r sin theta and mv square by r, they are balancing each other. So we will say r sin theta is equal to mv square upon r. Now the next thing is we have to use a little bit trick, and that trick is that whenever we have cos theta and sin theta component, we divide, sine with cos, we know the answer will be tangent. So you just divide two equations, and this way we can find the value of theta. It's extremely easy. Similar to the previous derivation, this time just assume that one car is taking a curved path. But as we know that car cannot bend, whole car cannot bend like a cyclist. So what will we do while designing the roads? You must be maybe noticing, maybe not noticing, the road is always curved. So if the road has to turn like this, it will be banked. The road level will be raised a little bit, as you can see. This is called banking of the road. Same way, if the road has to be like this, then the banking will be given in this way, so that the cars and automobiles, they don't skid and fall from the road. Now same way for the car also we will write all the components of the force, but in this condition we are not considering frictional force. Okay, so weight mg, reaction component, and then we resolve the reaction component into further r cos theta and r sin theta. Same way like previous case, mv square upon r will be in the direction of r sin theta. So you divide both of them and you will get the value of velocity. So we will know what is the maximum velocity which a car can move to while taking the curved path without skidding. Okay, so this actually is a civil engineering problem. Whenever we design any curved path, any flyover or anything, we give some banking angle. And if you haven't noticed, next time when you go, you notice there will be a speed limit. Speed limit on this flyover is 40 km per hour or 60 km per hour. So the speed limit means if we go beyond that, there is a chance that our car can skid and major accident can happen. This is how we calculate the maximum speed. This case is similar to the previous one, but in this one what we are assuming is, let us say there is a curved path and we have not banked the road, but instead of banking, obviously not instead of banking, friction is always there between the wheels of the car and the floor. So in this case we are assuming friction. Well, this is a car which is lying on an unbanked road. There is no banking, but frictional force is there. In that case, weight of the car will be downwards, mg, reaction component will be upwards, and since it is getting pulled towards the center while taking the curve path, as I have explained you 2 times earlier, here also frictional force is acting in the same direction as that of your centripetal force. But for the car not to skid and fall from the flyover, what should be the condition? Frictional force should be more than mv square upon r, because if the centripetal force is able to pull the car inside, then this car will skid like this and it will eventually fall from the flyover. So we will assume mv square upon r should be less than or equal to frictional force. Always remember, wherever you see frictional force, don't get scared. That is equal to mu into r, where mu is called the coefficient of friction. You should never be scared from the term mu. It's only its name is like this, coefficient of friction. Okay, so where you see small f, which is frictional force, simply put mu into r. Now come to r. R is called the reaction component, and r is always balanced by the weight mg. You can see in this case r is balanced by mg. So we fill everything's value and we can again calculate what is the maximum velocity by which a car can take a curve without falling from the ramp, without skidding from the ramp. So this one is the more actual case. In this again we are assuming one car, but in this case we are having 2 things. This is the actual scenario. We are having banking of the road also. We are considering friction also, because the car tires are designed in such a way so that they are never smooth, otherwise the cars will skid and fall from the road. Okay, so in this derivation all we need to do is to see the components very nicely. This is the car. Always assume one imaginary vertical, okay, to this line, this black line. So parallel to the vertical will be my weight component mg. But reaction component, since it is lying on a slope, reaction component will be here, and reaction component makes an angle theta with the same direction of mg. So we will convert it into r cos theta and r sin theta. Frictional force is along this side. As you can see, frictional force will be along this line. Why? Because this is where the car's tires are in contact with the road. So same way we will have to separate the component of friction also, f cos theta and f sin theta. This theta is geometrically I am taking the angles. Okay. Force, centripetal force will be always towards the center, that is mv square upon r. Now very simple, you just have to write 2 equations. So let's see which and which component are in which and which direction. So you can see here weight mg and frictional force component f sin theta are in one direction. So I will say mg plus f sin theta is equal to, it is exactly opposite to r cos theta. So my first equation is mg plus f sin theta equal to r cos theta. Second time I will notice that mv square upon r, r sin theta and f cos theta all are in the same direction. Since I have to stop the car from falling, so I will first assume mv square upon r should be balanced by r sin theta plus f cos theta. Okay, so you write these 2 equations. Now you have to do is second equation divide by first equation. Then after dividing, simplifying the equation, we will get simple formula v square upon rg equal to tangent theta plus mu divided by 1 minus mu tangent theta. Why this formula is very important? Because this is the actual case scenario where we are having both friction as well as banking of the road in the same problem. Next we are having a problem of a person driving one vehicle in the death well. If you know, death well is a scenario where there will be a spherical globe and we have to drive your vehicle starting from the lowest point, go take a loop from the highest point. When you will be at the highest point, actually you will be upside down, so you don't fall. Okay, that is the trick of driving any motor vehicle or anything in the death well. So this is that situation. Now in this also, what we need to know is what are the components. So let us say one person started at a lowest point L, okay, with the initial velocity u. He or she hasn't reached the highest point, but they are somewhere here, somewhere at here, where they have acquired the final velocity v. Okay, although I know radius of the circle will remain constant, but still I am just projecting one perpendicular from this point to here. Since total is my radius of the circle, if this point, this height I am assuming h, rest of it will be r minus h. Okay, so this whole equation I am using principle of conservation of energy, that is initial energy half mu square. At the lowest point my potential energy will be 0, so I can say kinetic energy plus potential energy. Initial kinetic energy plus potential energy equal to final kinetic energy plus final potential energy. So that's what I have done. Half mu square initial kinetic energy, initial potential energy assume 0 because the person is at the lowest point. Okay, then final kinetic energy and final potential energy. From simplifying this equation, I will get v equal to root of u square minus 2gh. Now, how can I use this value to actually calculate what should be my velocity at lowest point and what should be my velocity at highest point. So again we go back to this diagram and we try to, actually the person who is driving, they will feel like they are tied to one imaginary string, like a bob tied to an imaginary string, and we are rotating the bob in the circular way. Okay, so when the bob reach at the highest point, it will be actually upside down, but it don't have to fall. This is the thing. Okay, so in this case now I am incorporating tension also in the string. So weight of this person at this point will be directly downwards, mg. Tension in the string will be like this. There is no string, but that person will feel a tension. Remember, when you are going on a circular track also, you bend because you are feeling one kind of hidden force, one pseudo force is kind of pulling you towards the center, which is called centripetal force, and its value we are writing like mv square upon r. So tension and mv square upon r, both are in the same direction. Weight in this direction, I will resolve the component of weight mg cos theta and mg sin theta. Now it is extremely simple. What you have to do is, you have to write mv square upon r and tension, both are in the same direction. So mv square upon r equal to t minus mg cos theta. This is actually very easy to write this expression. After that, just calculate the value of cos theta. If you consider this right angle triangle, you can see cos theta is equal to r minus h divided by r. So you write the value of cos theta, fill the value here, simplify. You can calculate the tension in the string when the person is at the lowest point. You can calculate the tension in the string when the person is at the highest point. When he is at the lowest point, we are assuming height to be equal to 0. So we get the value of tension in the string. Now you will be like, why we are calculating tension in the string when actually we are not tied to the string. So the usefulness is that when we calculate tension in the lowest point, then if the answer comes, this value of tension comes equal to 0, that means that is the velocity which will be there when I reach at the highest point of my journey. Okay, so whatever value of tension come at lowest point, you mark it equal to 0 and calculate the value of u, which is required at the highest point. Same way, when you are at the highest point, that time the total height is 2 times r. You can see very clearly at highest point, this is diameter of the circle. So that is 2 times r. So at the highest point, the value of tension will be m by r into u square minus 5gr, and the tension at the highest point will tell me the value which I required to write, at the lowest point, so that I don't fall and die in the death well. So for velocity which is required at the lowest point for looping should be more than or equal to root of 5gr, because in this case I am taking tension at the highest point should be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so I'll not increase the video length any further. If you have any question, please ask in the comment section. Like, subscribe our channel and share our channel. Thank you so much.